Hey, what's up guys? I'm here at Glacier National Park in late April, which means it's not peak season. So this road, which is called Going to the Sun Road, is closed from the lodge.
And that's what this video is about. What Glacier National Park is like off-peak, when it's not summer, when the crowds are gone, when the weather is cold, and when most animals are hibernating or haven't moved in yet. This video will show a much different glacier, both in good ways and in bad.
So to get to like the first touristy spot, which is Avalanche Lake, you need to walk about 6 miles to get to the trailhead, and then it's another 1.9 up to the lake. I got my bear spray just in case, and wish me luck.
Okay, just for some clarification, I think it's time to explain some things here. Kalispell, Montana is located in the state's Flathead Valley, which is right up against Glacier National Park, with the area being located in the Pacific Northwest and about 50 miles south of the Canadian border. It has quite a diverse climate, with temperatures reaching the 80s and 90s in the summer and dropping down to the single digits and negatives in the winter. Late April is an average month for Glacier National Park, where you can get nice cool days or cloudy, snowy days, depending on your visit. For our short stay, it was the latter option. The park has 7 entrances, but only 3 connect to the Going to the Sun Road. West Glacier being the most popular, East Glacier or St. Mary being where this road ends on the other side, and Camas Creek, which forks in near Lake McDonald. When open, the Going to the Sun Road is routinely ranked as one of the top 10 most scenic roads in the United States. Emphasis on when open. Unfortunately, it's only fully accessible for roughly 3 months of the year, most typically from mid-June to mid-September. This is due to heavy snowpack covering the roads at the highest elevations, making it impossible to clear. Heavy machinery is needed every year to remove all the snow, which is why it's only open for 3 short months. When coming to Glacier at an off-peak time, like right now, on the west side, most commonly the Going to the Sun Road will be open only to Lake McDonald Lodge or Avalanche Creek, and on the east side, which we shall be going to tomorrow, only to Rising Sun near Wild Goose Island. But back to West Glacier, like I said at the beginning, the road today was only open to Lake McDonald Lodge, so it was all on foot from there.
Thankfully no bear, but a deer just crossed about 20 yards in front of me, and it's, oh, there it is right there. Right there. So I'm on the Trail of the Cedars now, going up to Avalanche Lake. I've seen a couple footprints, so I think there's some people up here, and I saw a couple bikes. But yeah, not a lot of people up here. No bears yet, and I hope that stays. I hope I just see people and maybe some birds and deer and maybe goats. But there are moose and bears here, so gotta stay clear of them. And I'm just holding this in my left hand because I don't want to run into any. I think this is as far as I'm gonna go, because it's another 2 miles up to the lake, and it's already 3:22, so that'd be 2 miles and then another 6 miles back to the lodge. And I'm by myself right now. I was not before, but
it was at this point 2 hikers appeared out of nowhere and began the trek up to Avalanche Lake. So I thought, what the hell, I got bear spray, now some people with me, and who knows when I'll be back. So onward and upward.
guys, moment has come. Finally made it to Avalanche Lake. Oh, look at this place. Absolutely beautiful place, and to be here like alone by yourself with nature, it's just even better when there's no tourists. It's kind of like when I was in Alaska. All right, and that is it. Now back to the Lake McDonald Lodge. So enjoy some montages.
If you do also want to go to Avalanche Lake, which is a very nice hike from the trailhead during the off-season, I would highly recommend biking from Lake McDonald Lodge to the Trail of the Cedars and hiking from there. Otherwise, you can either walk 20 miles like I did, or do some smaller trails near the lodge, which, in case you're wondering, is what my dad did. Because I did go up, I did not get back till around 7 p.m., which thankfully in late April, the sun stays up. If you are like my dad though, and also don't feel like walking, the other side of Lake McDonald is open and is drivable, or you can drive up to Polebridge, Montana, along the edge of Glacier and Flathead National Forest, which is what we did a little right now before heading back to Kalispell for the night and stopping at a pretty cool little joint on the side of the road for some food. Our second day at Glacier, since we could go no further to the west, we decided to loop all the way around the park on Route 2 for 57 miles to East Glacier Depot and another 33 miles up to St. Mary, where the Going to the Sun Road lets out from the west. Once cutting through some gorgeous mountains and valleys, the landscape noticeably gets flatter and flatter, with much more snow, much less trees, and that perfect embodiment of the term Big Sky Country.
I begin to understand it all. It's me that I'm fighting. Now that I see what is hiding underneath my skin, and I'm always sorry to bring you in my fall. Yeah, with my fall.
After over 2 hours of driving from our hotel near the airport, we've finally made it to St. Mary, Montana, and back to the Going to the Sun Road. What's especially noticeable around the entire area is how many shops and businesses are closed due to the park not being fully open. Several small towns are literal ghost towns, with this town, St. Mary, and its gas station being a perfect example. I honestly can't even believe these machines had any gas left, but thankfully they did because we needed it. The east entrance to the park didn't even have any ranger manning the stations, so we just waltzed in, passed by a few people walking on the street, and continued driving as far as we could.
But it's all good in the end, 'cause that's we're growing older, darling. Our love is growing stronger, 'cause it's me that I'm fighting.
I said earlier, the east side is only open to Rising Sun, which is a campground, picnic area, and boating dock for St. Mary Lake. But you can still walk or bike a bit further past the gate, and I would highly recommend going a bit further, as just up the hill and around the bend is one of Glacier National Park's most photogenic landmarks, Wild Goose Island, famous from movies like The Shining. With today obviously being a cloudy and snowy day in April, it's not going to look like these photos. But I'll definitely be back, and maybe, just maybe, I can get those shots. Before heading back down to Kalispell, we took in some more scenery, ate some lunch by the water, which arguably has to be one of the best lunch spots I've ever had in my life, and started our trek back. Before we called it a day, with some weather moving in and the remaining light we had, we stopped a couple times along the road, most notably to a goat lick overlook at the southernmost tip of Glacier National Park. Supposedly, it's a hangout spot for mountain goats to lick some delicious rocks, but there were none to see today, and I tell ya, I really wanted to see some freaking goats. We then ventured over to Whitefish, Montana, where we drove through the popular ski resort up there before going back down and eating at a fine little restaurant called Last Chair, where I had some trout soup and a walleye sandwich. All very delicious and a great last meal here in northwestern Montana. So, as Amtrak's Empire Builder makes its way into Whitefish Station, here's my thoughts on the pros and the cons about visiting Glacier National Park off-peak. Starting with the good. Obviously the first one, no crowds. I've never been here in the summer, but that is the main con everybody says of coming in peak season. In fact, I'd highly recommend coming in September or early October, as that's what the locals tell me. Second, I guess I could say we really didn't have to worry about bears and moose, so a little less danger of animal attacks. Although if you do come in fall, you do need to be more alert. Third, great for bikers and adventurers. With most of the roads closed, no people and no cars, if you bring your bike, you got the whole going to the sun road, well, most of it, to yourself, most of the trails to yourself, and most of the scenic popular destinations to yourself. Lastly is peace, quiet, and natural colors. It is unbelievable hiking through Glacier off-peak, as you can only hear yourself walking and the nature's natural sounds. And as far as what you see, it's much different than summer, and with a lot more rainy, snowy, and cloudy days, it brings out the park's real colors, which are fantastic. Now to the cons. Sticking with the weather, I'll say the weather, and I'll leave it at that. Second, the main road you come to drive on is closed, so obviously you can't see the entire park. Although again, at the beginning of fall, it's different. And with going to the sun closed, it makes getting to the east side much more difficult and time-consuming. Thirdly, a lot of businesses and shops are closed around the area because there's no people. Summer averages 3 million visitors, so money is coming in droves, but not the rest of the year, except for skiers in winter. And lastly, besides some deer, wildlife is almost non-existent, at least for what people come here to see. But that's what I've come to understand visiting Glacier National Park, Kalispell, Whitefish, and the surrounding regions in my short stay. It's an absolutely mesmerizing experience going to the national parks in this country, and even on what probably looks like a bad weekend for weather, and it was, let's face it, it still amazed me and only assured me that I need to come back, preferably in September. I really hope you guys enjoyed the look around Glacier with me. Thank you guys for watching, and catch you on the next one.